Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hi, I'm Kim.
And I'm Tora, and we want to welcome you to our podcast, Kicking It with Kimm and Torra. We have three topics that we want to address, and we want you all to join in anytime you like.
Okay. And so our first topic is the students trying to escape, the African students trying to escape from Ukraine.
Yes, that has been one of my heartbreaking moments over this past week. I have not been really feeling well, so I didn't even want to address this right now because I feel like my immune system is already being suppressed. And then the stress of seeing kids our age, because I'm calling our children kids. You know, they get to call their 21-year-old kids. I'm calling mine. These are students. They're trying to get home to their parents or just get to safety. They're just trying to get out of harm's way. And they are being told, you as a Black person cannot get on the train, only Ukrainians. What? And one gentleman got on a train. He was able to get on. There was someone who came up to him with a gun, pointed it at his forehead, and told him to get off the train. That made me so angry that I could not have compassion for these people anymore. Now, what does that tell you? And this is not a Russia is doing this. This is a ploy.
These were the Ukrainians doing
These
that.
are
And
Ukrainian.
the Polish preventing them from crossing the border into Poland and coming onto social media and saying, yes, we're proud of that because we're not going to have any refugees. This was straight racism. That's
Yes.
what I call it. Let
They
me
can
ask you what
find
you call it.
racism during a war. You can find racism during a war. You're not thinking everybody wants to get out. You know, I might even have more than you one day, so let me be compassionate because I might need some of yours. I'm telling you, I don't know how long this would, what I'm about to say out my mouth will last in life, but I have no compassion for anyone at this moment. For anyone at this moment other than the Black people who are trying to get out of Ukraine safely, because of the simple fact that if you can see color at this moment in time, it makes me so angry that I couldn't even fathom if I saw someone who needed help during any time and I'm looking at their color. If there was war going on and I had a house full of food and water and you came and said, look, can you give me and my children some food and water? I'm not going to be like, no, I'm saving it only for the Black people. I could not imagine my soul being like that. So who are these soulless people? How long has this soulless racism been going on that I have just been oblivious to? Because it hurts.
I've been here all along.
Did you know?
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. And you look at me like I'm crazy and say about your good white friends and the good white people. You say it all. I've been saying it the whole time. I'm not surprised. I think two things. I mean, I think it's deplorable, but I'm not surprised. I think number one, when the international reports started saying that there was a possibility that Putin would invade Ukraine, that was the time for the African students to leave. You don't stand there like a sitting duck and wait till it happens. And number two, stay home. Why are you going to school in Ukraine? Like Africans will go anywhere other than Africa. Who even is big upping a school in Ukraine? You can go to the University of Ghana. You can go from one African country to one of the Nigeria has good universities. Like, go home for God's sake and stop.
And see, I think going abroad is great. I think that is great when you are learning something that you're trying to bring back home.
But that's not, yeah.
But
if that's what they're doing, I don't. They go to Canada, they stay in Canada. They come to the US, they stay in the US. They go to England, London, they stay in London. So, I mean, but see, that's a whole bigger topic. But I do think it's deplorable that they did that to those students. And I've seen videos where they're yelling out, no Blacks, no Blacks, and all that. And it's time for us to understand we have to unite with each other because all over the world, they were against us. It's the
Absolutely.
craziest thing ever. Everybody wants to hold
Hate on
down
us.
a black person.
And it's sickening. And what I'm really upset about, there was something, I had something to show you about. I want to say he was the president. He's a nice looking tall president. I thought I sent it to you to remind myself. I don't see it, but anyway, they asked him, what did he think about, it was in Africa, they asked him what did he think about, the war against Ukraine and Russia, and he bust out laughing. He said, I mean, he laughed with the laugh that came from his gut, because he was like, we got our own issues, and that was before I even saw one thing about how
they were doing.
And then, okay, I found it. So yeah, I will send that to you.
Okay, yeah, let me see if I know who the person is. Another thing is, I posted a video about this on TikTok and said, as the comment that I pinned to the top, some of our people are praying for them, and look at what they're doing.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, it goes too far.
He had his hand up in the air. Yep, I saw that. And literally, it made me want to hug this man, because I was just like, finally somebody get what I'm feeling right now. Like, it's a laughing matter. Like, are you kidding me? Like I said, I want to be able to watch what I say, because I want to, like you always say, I want to be able to change my mind about something.
Oh, absolutely. And you can be upset and calm down and feel differently. That's
right.
Okay too.
Because my thing is this, I'm not saying this about someone who actually was there trying to help someone. I'm talking about the people of Ukraine, the racist people of Ukraine right now who are hurt. Those are the people who I'm angry with. I'm not talking about the Russians who are saying, yeah, we saw it, we witnessed it.
Well, you didn't see the one where the African students said the Russian soldiers were holding them at gunpoint?
No, I didn't see that. I saw one where they said that the Russians was telling them they could go by them, like, y'all go this way.
Okay, I didn't see that, but I saw one with a group of African students saying they were being held by gunpoint, and the students were saying, we're students, students.
And we don't have
Russian soldiers holding them at gunpoint.
I said that would be interesting, because I heard Putin say right before this started, he has nothing against the blacks. That's literally what he said. He said
the soldiers on the ground and the president at the top might be acting differently. And then, as I said, Poland said, we'll let Ukraine immigrants in, but we're not having any refugees. So the blacks are refugees.
I mean, what's the difference? I really am ignorant.
One is white and one is black. One is from, I mean, I don't know any other difference. They're saying if you're Ukrainian, we'll let some immigrants in, but we're not going to have any refugees.
But how do you know if I'm not born and raised in Ukraine?
He's talking about race. And that's on the internet.
What if you are a black Ukrainian? You can't be a black Ukrainian?
He's talking about race, and the person who was interviewing him said, because it was clearly racist. And she was like, and you're proud of this? And he said, yes. That's why the people of Poland elect us, and we don't have a bunch of crime and blah, blah. So it's just stereotypes.
So they're saying the black people bring crime?
Stereotypes, yeah. So it's important to know who we are and to know, see, in my opinion, people here feel that way about us, but it's important for Africans to, well, I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but as far as I can tell, most of them have been getting out. Now I've started to see videos of them getting out. So it's a rough lesson, and maybe we all can take something from that and begin to unite and understand what I always say, we're all we got. We have got to, stick together. Now, Torra, what about this national digital vaccine?
I just got mine. I got mine in the email. I think it was Monday, I want to say.
What is it that you got?
Well, I have to take my card, my vaccine card, and put it into the computer, and I have 30 days to do it. And I have 30 days to put my vaccine in into the computer, and it will be digitalized. Like, that is.
So you're going to get a QR code.
They're going to send me a hard. Yep, they're going to send me a hard card. And then that's going to be on the back of the code. So it'll be scanned wherever I go. Basketball, they already said a list. They had a list of like basketball, football, gyms. Like, if you want to, when the gyms open back up, because some of them haven't been, some grocery stores, Whole Foods is is one that's on the fence, but it had a slash in between it. It was like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. So all the ones who you think were, you know, homeopathic are going that way, because I heard a lot of people are going to stop letting people into the stores without the passport. Now, listen, this was my theory when I read this. Have you seen a lot of smash and grabs?
No.
Okay, so there's these kids, and I don't know what nationality they are because you never can really make out who they are, but they're just a group of kids. They're running in stores and they're grabbing everything they can and they're running out.
I mean, I've heard of that, but I don't know that it's a big trending thing.
Oh, it is huge right now. I mean, it is closing down stores. It's so bad. So my thing is this, I think this vaccine passport is going to cause us to have passport entry into everything now. I think they're going to start building.
And how do you feel about that? How do you feel about having to have a QR code to scan in order to get in any store, building, whatever, because there's an off chance that some teenagers or young men or young women are going to run in the store and smash and grab something? You think that's a good trade-off?
At first, I was thinking good. It'll cut back on crime, right? It'll stop you from being able, because they have parking garages. On the list is a lot of parking garages. You know.
Okay, so now how do you feel?
So, but then I was just thinking, it's gonna only be certain people. You know what I mean? It's almost like only the W's, only the P's, only the Q's, you know, in life. It's only gonna be a lot of people. It's not gonna be a variety of people in the world anymore that you're gonna be amongst.
Well, you mean in the places that require a passport? Because
that you require passports. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, how are we gonna interact? Now I feel like we're programmed.
I have a problem with that, but you know what? On my YouTube channel, I'm doing a series on a book of secrets. And one of the things he said is that the way the elite manipulate the masses is that they make you afraid, and then they end up having the masses begging them, take away my freedom to make me safe. And that sounds like that's what you just said to me. Take away my freedom so that I can be safe. And that means you're falling right into the agenda. And the other thing that I have, and so a couple things. Number one, is that a mark? The QR code, because now it's going to be on your phone. How does that, is that the start of the mark of the beast? And number two, or really more important than all of this, well, two things. Number one, they're saying that the risk of really no longer a problem. So people aren't requiring masks. Most places are dropping the mask requirement. So if it's a problem, why do we need a passport showing you've been? Because after all, it's not a problem. But the bigger thing of all, the government is not mandating a passport. This is something that was formed by Microsoft, the Mayo Clinic, what is the name? But anyway, a number of corporations. These are corporations that have joined together and said, we're going to require a passport. That is not the purview.
Do you think the government is patting it on the back though? Like, look, we can't do it.
I sure do. But I think that, come on, when do we stand up? So multinational, global corporations get to decide whether or not many of these, including Bill Gates.
So where do you go?
Many of these, including Bill Gates, being some of the very people that are profiting from the administration. Where we go is to stand up and say no. Stand up and say, no, we don't consent to being ruled by corporations. Who elected Microsoft and Oracle and the Mayo Clinic to govern us? What position did they get elected to make a decision like this?
Okay, so like, let me be the devil's advocate on this one. So say there's 40% of the people who are just absolutely, I'm not going there, not doing it. Then there's 60% who says, absolutely, I'm the passport and all of that, right? So we as the 60, we get to go everywhere. We go to Disneyland, we go on planes, we go on everywhere, we get food, good food, we get whatever we want, right? Gonna do. What are the 40% who said no? It's not about robbing, stealing.
Whomever it is that doesn't get is going to go ahead being human and live their lives, because the 60% that have gotten You guys are
Mhm.
sick, falling out on
Yeah.
stages, falling out in football fields. So I
Sick.
don't think that there's anything to be feeling like, well, hey, we did it, and you all have been the,
Guinea
I don't
pigs.
want to say, but I'm just going to say you all are the ones who have succumbed to the programming and drank the Kool-Aid, and now you're paying the price.
Mhm.
And being able to go into a building or into a football stadium or into a theme park is no consolation for that you've experienced. So what we all need to do is
Mhm.
join together and say no.
You
If
mean the
I
60 and the 40 needs to join
60
together?
and the 40, because my position is if you want to take it, take it. We've
Mhm.
told you what we know. We've warned you. You're a
Mhm.
grown person on your own journey. You made your decision, and I'm going to support that. But if the 40% feel like, no, ma'am, I'm going to protect my humanity, I don't want to do that, then the 60 ought to respect that too, especially
Mhm.
since it's a big, which isn't even a problem. We don't even need a mask. Even Demon Bill Gates said the risks have been minimized. This is not an issue. He's turned his focus to expect the next one. Another one's coming. So we
I
need to
can't
join
take another one.
together and say, we are the people.
I can't
We
take another one.
respect our right to get it. We respect our right to not get it. And what
Mhm.
we don't respect is corporations, not the government, not elected officials, big corporate interests, the wealthy, the elite, telling the rest of us who can go and who can't go. But as long as somebody thinks they've done something and now they have a privilege, we won't be able to do that. But it may come out that all of those people, because that's what's happening. Look at the videos, people falling out. Some lady on stage, you saw that on TikTok. I had all I had
Yep.
my flu shot, and I must admit, I had my shingle shot too. Fall back on the back of her head. I mean, this
Yep.
stuff ain't pretty. And a lot of people I love took that shot, yourself included. And I'm
Included.
concerned, but what we need more than anything is to join together and let corporations know we will govern what we do. Can you imagine letting
Yeah.
a CEO like Bill Gates tell you you can't go to the grocery store?
And
That's
it's like he
America's
tried to do the right thing. Like my kids said, Mom, do you want me to get the book? I said, no. I said, I'm not going to even remotely recommend it. I said, you do what you want, but I'm not recommending. I said, I got, since I got it, I feel worse than when I felt like getting the 2 shots. I felt something different about
the
my
first shot. You said you felt sick and you
Mhm.
never got better. I think you
And
learned.
I'm not.
I think you learned to feel that way.
Mhm. Well, this that I got, I'm telling you, ever since I've gotten it, my immune system is just compromised. I literally opened my phone and had some girl on TikTok say, is it me? Or lately, everybody you know is getting sick. And I know that I have been sick. I know people around me who have been sick, and all the people who I'm talking about, we have all got the.
Now, is that worth being able to go to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and the football game and to get on a plane? I mean, we have to tell them no. You don't tell us to do that. You don't make us do that. If
But
you
then they
say,
tell you it's in your mind. It's not the shot. It's just, but it's like I got the flu shot and the 2.
why are
Shouldn't
you
I
sick?
at least
You should
be
be
like
inoculated.
you? Like you're never sick. I'm sick all the time.
I did have some kind of virus recently, remember? It was a couple of days I had a little something, but I mean, I'm healthy. I'm good.
I mean, this one beating me up, like bad beating me up.
I think the second shot made everybody, I don't know anybody.
Mhm.
Well, I try not to do a lot of talking about all that
Mhm.
anyway, but I don't know anybody that got the second shot that didn't go through a serious illness.
Yeah, we all did.
What are we
We all
doing here?
did. Yeah.
If
It
you
was
choose
very
to
bad.
do that, that's okay, but I don't want anybody
And
telling
what got us is when we went to New York for Christmas and all of us got, and all of us have been I mean, it was 6 of us and no, 7 of us. And we all like
like, what
how
is the point? And
even
then I
possible.
guess they would tell you, oh, well, you didn't go to the hospital. Well, how many people I know people who didn't go
They
to the
told us not
hospital
to
either?
come. Yeah, they told us not to come.
They told, oh, you guys called?
Yeah, we called and asked, what should we do? And they said, just quarantine. But at that point, we were like, I'm not quarantining. Sarah Palin's here. She ain't quarantining.
Oh, yeah, she
So
was out having a date, wasn't
yeah,
she? At
so
the
yeah,
cafe?
I was like, yeah, once we heard the involved and all that, we were like, no, we're gonna walk this off.
Oh, they
Yeah.
said the were involved in the recent rounds of sickness?
Yeah, that was like, yeah. And it had taken a family member, no, two family members of ours out. Yeah. My
Oh.
husband's side and one on my side.
Well, I think that I can't say it anymore. I just think we have to unite or we're all screwed. Well, I'm not going to be screwed, and nor is anybody that I know if I can help it. But I
Mhm.
think that we have to be careful about what we allow people to make us do out of fear. I
Yeah.
just do.
And
You
that
know,
and mine was, I guess it was some kind of fear, but mine was more so I thought I was doing the noble right thing. So I
uh-huh.
wanted to be on the side of nobleness, which ends up not being so noble when you know, you weigh the pros and cons, because you hear people say, well, I didn't get I wasn't gonna get it, and then they die. And you hear people say, but I got it. And I still, so it's like, what, which one could have worked better for you though? You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a complicated situation. And I guess we just have to see how it plays out and whether we can come together and
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
this whole situation. Now, what about your president giving our people $30 million in crack pipes in Black
That
History
hurts
Month?
because he didn't even mention that in the State of the Union. And I actually tuned in to watch that just to hear about that part. He said nothing about the crack pipes, which I think he should have, because that is a big thing on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. People are like really saying that that came out of his mouth. I haven't heard him say it out of his mouth. I've only heard news stations quoting it, but I haven't heard him or Kamala dismiss it. So is it true or is it not true?
I've seen it on, I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in the news media either,
Right.
but I've seen articles across various different sources. And like you're saying, they never came out and said, no, we didn't do it.
No, wouldn't that be like
You
one of
would
the
think
things
he
you
would
want to
mention
say?
it. Hmm.
Yeah, that would be one of the main things. I was like, I don't know where this rumor got started. Well, he didn't have to,
I
but he
don't
has
think
a
it's a
speaker.
rumor. These are like CNBC,
Yeah, that's what I
MSN,
saw it
and
on
stuff like
CNN.
that.
So, but he
Yeah.
has a speaker of the house, so the speaker can come forth and say, I'm gonna address this, and
Oh, you
say that.
mean she's not the Speaker of the House.
No, not the
That's
speaker of the
Nancy
house.
Pelosi.
The no, 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 not Nancy.
Communications
The
person.
communications
I know who
director.
you're
Yeah.
talking about. I can't
Yeah,
think of
she
it.
can come out and dismiss it for the president. But she's the voice of the president. And she can say, okay, we don't know where these rumors are coming from, but at the end of the day, we are not investing any type of money in the crack or anything else. We are,
I
but
think it's true. He said it's to somebody asked him and he said it's to prevent infection. He wants to
what
prevent
infection?
infection
I've never
among
known a crackhead to share his pipe.
crack
So
addicts. And even if they did, it was needles that cause
yeah,
HIV.
yeah, I can see if
They're
he said,
needles, not crack pipes.
yeah, but he said, right, right. They did
Even
share needles,
though
but
I
they
do
stopped.
think you're supposed to keep your own pipe to yourself, but I don't know. Who knows?
I just never known a crackhead to say I'm hard up for a pipe. Like I've always known them to be able to make a pipe out of
Out of
anything they want
anything.
to. Yeah, out of
And
anything.
let's say
So,
this, let's say we had $30 million to set aside for some Black issue. Why would you make it that? Why
yeah,
would
why
we
would
not
you make
buy
it in the cure
laptops
though?
for the kids? Why would we not give some kind of down payment
Resource.
credit for people to have low, moderately priced housing? Why wouldn't we do something useful and productive? If you're going to target a population to help, why are you targeting Black crack addicts? You
Right.
got moms, dads, children,
It sounds
Asian
like you're
people.
trying to keep them down, right? Like that's a ploy to keep the business going. Because my thing is this: um, if you have $30 million, why wouldn't you use that in the cure instead of the problem? That's not
But
helping
why
the
don't
person.
you target an audience other than Black crack addicts and say we're going to help get these homeless people off the street? I mean, like crack addicts have made a conscious decision to do crack and unfortunately become addicted. If we can help them, I think we should. But if we only have 30 million, because I haven't heard him setting aside any money for anything else. So if you're only giving up 30 million, don't give it to the crack addicts. Find
Right.
a population that is in need and worthy of help and help them.
And who are they spreading it to? And who are the crackheads around other than other crackheads spreading whatever
And when do
disease?
you ever hear anything about crack addicts having,
I've never heard one.
the plan? The pandemic was notable for the fact that for the most part, it did not affect the homeless population
Or
and the
drug addicts.
drug addicts. So what game are we playing?
Yeah, I would
So
love
I
that.
guess, hopefully, what more will it take for Blacks to wake up and figure out either you need some different party representative altogether,
Mhm.
or you need to leave that thing alone, because really neither side is doing much of anything
Who is
to
our
help the
voice? Like,
condition.
who's the voice that is speaking only for Black people right now? Like, I don't understand how we never get a voice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what?
even with
I
a Black
think
president, I feel like we didn't have a
that
voice.
man was a clown. I mean, I'm sorry. I know he's their president forever, but show me the receipts, okay? But, you know, what we have to do, I think, is join together and make our own voices heard, because the reality, looking back on history, they only allow us to have leaders that are approved by them and are problematic. Anybody that raises up organically, they shoot them down and kill them, mow them down in the beds, drop a
I
bomb
say
on them, whatever. So I'm a little suspect of any new leader. I want to hear, we're talking on social media, we're connecting with each other. I want to see us come out and say, this is what we want, this is what we don't. We're not a monolith, but certain things are
we gotta
unacceptable.
tap into that out of body higher ring. We gotta tap into that higher spiritual before. I think that's the only thing that's gonna wake all of us up. I think we're
I don't think
vibrating too
everybody
low.
gets
I think we're vibrating too low.
I
I
don't think
really do.
everybody gets awakened. I think that every day more and more people are waking up, and you don't need everybody to win the spiritual warfare. You need a certain amount. And the reality is that some people have drank too much, smoked too much, ate at too many occult stations, which are fast food restaurants, just done too much to their bodies, their souls, compromised too much, did immoral, illegal activities too much. I'm not judging anybody. I would never say you, me, no, but I'm saying everybody's not going to ascend. So I'm even on that page. I can't keep on talking to people who just are never going to get it.
No, but you hit on something when you said about the fast food, because when I was at my worst, when I was sick, I couldn't eat anything. I could only drink water. I couldn't eat anything. And I felt like my dreams and my soul was stronger, my soul part of my life, which was crazy. And then I ate McDonald's literally, and I didn't have one dream. And I think even if I did have one, it wasn't a good one. And my body just was not in tune anymore. And I was like, so when you said that, I'd already knew it, but then when you said it, I was like, she's on to something. Because I know
you
exactly.
get used to it. You get used to feeling that way, and now you had a break, and
Yep.
you're like, hey, this is not exactly the best thing for me.
I don't think I would be doing that too much ever again. Now that it hit me that hard, I was like, wait a minute, that part of my life I was feeling good about. I was like, I told Antoine, I was like, yo, I've had some good dreams. He's like,
you write them down?
Good too. I did write them down. And when I woke up, I've put them already into like, okay, this is going to be something you and I got to work on together.
Okay, that's wonderful.
Yes.
And so do we have a couple minutes left to just mention the Supreme Court nominee?
We have 1 minute and 9 seconds.
Do you want to save it for next time?
We definitely can. I mean, we can definitely let each other know how we feel about the fact that she is an African-American woman.
I mean, there's that. She's well educated, but she also has, like Miss Kamala, a white husband.
Okay.
And I don't
Dr.
know
Umar
that
wouldn't like that. I said Dr. Umar would not like that. He feels like that's a lose-coon situation.
Well, I just feel like Kamala didn't set a good precedent, because she really hasn't done anything. Where was she when Joe came up with the $30 million crack pipe plan? I haven't seen her weighing in. Despite wearing Timbs and pearls, I haven't really seen her showing any ethnicity, any affiliation or support of our community since y'all voted her in.
Do you think that is being told to them? Do you think that is being told to the Black people that get into power, like, listen, we can do it, but y'all can't? Because I feel
We
like
can do what? We can do
we
what?
can we can say, like, you know how Trump got in office and he let you know. Trump was like, he held up his white fist and he got others to hold up there. But I feel like as Black people, I feel like we are being told, like, we have to be for the masses. Like, you can't say I'm for the masses, but I'm also especially for Black people because I'm Black and I have to represent me. Like, I feel like if I ever got in any position, I still like I can feel like I can say it and you can respect me saying that I'm for the masses. However, I do have a Black agenda because I'm Black and I know what it feels like to be Black and I know what it is to be Black. So I need to make sure we okay while I'm here. I need to make sure we get a step in this game or up in this game while we're here.
And,
You know what I'm
to
saying?
answer your question, I think that they don't get into those positions unless they have a mindset that is in line with the people who are ruling this and other countries. And I think that your more radical people never get in those positions because they know that that's not somebody you're going to move up the ladder because they're not going to follow the agenda. And that's why I mentioned her white husband, not because it's illegal or immoral or anything else, but because it tends more likely than not to indicate that you kind of will go with the program. Now, I could be dead wrong, but I haven't seen her kicking up any dust before. I'm going to do some research. I haven't into, what kind of rulings, because she's on the bench already. So I'm going to look into what kinds of things she's ruled. And if there's anything that jumps out, I'll mention it next time. But I'm not encouraged. I mean, I'm glad but like if it ends up being like a Clarence Thomas type person, what do you gain? Nothing. You might as well just put her.
I think even the Caucasian race look at him like, really, dude?
Yeah,
Like,
you don't need another.
You're not embarrassed at all? Like, you heard your wife the other day? Like,
yeah, no. So, well, let's see if there's anything else we can, if we happen to come across anything or have a time.
what's her name? Ketanji?
Oh, girl, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
some kind of really nice Afrocentric name.
I know, when I saw the name and the last name, and I was like, yay. And then I saw her face. I was like, okay, beautiful sister.
She was natural hair, right?
So she kind of made me think, like, like my children, like she can still be in touch with her who she is and not try to be
date a white man. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But she's been on the bench and been promoted on the bench. She's been
that's the one thing I have for her.
She's been a clerk at the U.S. Supreme Court and other. So again, you only get in those kinds of positions if you have a certain disposition. The Condoleezza Rices, the people like that, they're not picking Tupac's.
No.
Secretary of State. You know what I mean? So anyway, I think we're out of time, but loved it. Very interesting. And look forward to seeing everyone next time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we have next week a very good show. We're going to talk about giants. So I need everyone to tune in for next week. And thank you for kicking it with Kimm and Torra. See you soon.
Thank you.